What's up, everybody? T-Biz here. And we got another Masters Universe Classics to check out. This is Roboto from Masters Universe Classics, Heroic Mechanical Warrior. Anyways, I've always liked Roboto. I always thought he was cool. Remember when he came out back in the day, I was like, man, this is a neat figure. And I've always loved like cool translucent figures or figures that have translucent parts. And I thought it was cool too that he was, translucent and you can see all the gears and stuff. And he actually has a heart. So made him a little bit more human than actual just like machine or robot or whatever. And yeah, and once again, it's going to be another character in the new movie that we're going to see. So that's going to be rad, is Roboto. Because in the '87 movie, we didn't have Roboto. We just had, Tila, Man-at-Arms, Beastman, He-Man, Evil Lyn, and Sorod, and Karg. Even though Karg was a new character and Blade was a new character and stuff like that. And yeah, and Gwildor. Gwildor was a new character, and the Sorceress, and yeah, that was pretty much, that was pretty much it. There wasn't like a ton of characters in that movie, but this new movie, man, with the power of Grayskull, I guess you could say, we got more characters, so that's pretty rad. That's gonna be freaking cool. And yeah, man, let's check this guy out. It should be pretty fun. I had this figure back in the day when I was collecting classics, but I ended up selling them all back in the day. And now, since that season has passed, so to speak, that we get to recollect some of this stuff again and and have it again, because for some weird reason back in the day I was just like, I had them toted up and I was like, oh, they're just in totes, I don't really appreciate them, so I'm going to sell them. And I wanted to sell them quick, so I wanted to get money. And I don't know, I'm going to leave that story there. And I got the money and all that and whatever, and used it for what I needed. But looking back on it and everything that's happened now, I'm like, man, I should have just kept them. Just kept them. But it wouldn't have worked that way. But then again, in the way that it did work is how we're here today and how things are different for me now. And yet again, we got a Roboto game, so you can always grab this stuff again. It's always going to be around. It never really goes away. Anyways, yeah, I picked them up off eBay for a decent price, so it wasn't too bad. And I think Kristen Wiig is the voice for Roboto. I remember seeing that on Facebook or something like that. And I was like, that's freaking interesting. I wonder how that's going to play out. Anyways, and because I always liked her. I don't know. She's an awesome actress. Funny actress, comedian or whatever. But anyways, I don't know if you call her a comedian, but she was funny on SNL. I don't know. Anyways, Battle Armor He-Man. Got on the back of the card. Tila, the Warrior Goddess. Roboto, Orko, Stratos, and Man-at-Arms. The only one I'm missing right now is Tila. I want to get Tila again, but I'm not sure if I want to try to buy her loose or get her in the box, because it's always fun to do a box review. Anyways, let's go ahead and read Roboto's file card. And plus, when I had these figures, I wasn't doing videos, so it's cool to come back and do videos on them again. Or now, although I'm collecting them again. Anyways, real name, Robot Model 9041. Originally built by Man-at-Arms as a chess opponent for Man-E-Faces, the robot companion was nicknamed Roboto, and later given a heart-shaped emotion program which altered his speech patterns. Under the influence of his new programming, Roboto came to understand the desire for freedom and upgraded himself for battle so that he could join the Masters of the Universe in their fight against evil. Roboto serves as chief strategist for the Masters of the Universe, and uses his unstoppable robotic strength in heroic combat. So that'll be cool to see that, hopefully, in the new movie. And here's Roboto, and they show this in the bubble in the package that he comes with extra hands, so you got that. And I think I actually might have extras of these parts, because when I sold a lot of the figures, I didn't always sell them complete, so I have a ton of accessories from my old classics collection that are probably pretty valuable, and I'm probably just going to keep them, or whatever. Or I could sell them, I don't know, we'll figure it out, but they're probably just better to keep. But yeah, got his claw arm, or claw hand, or claw, I guess, yeah, more like a claw hand. And yeah, it's funny how they cleverly push this in the back, underneath, or behind Roboto in the package, that you don't see it. And you're like, man, he just came with an axe. Because I was thinking that when I looked at him real quick, and I was like, oh, I just came with that. Because I couldn't remember. And then I was like, as I looked closer and I was about to open them, I was like, oh, there's the other stuff. It's just hiding. Just cleverly hidden. So yeah, and here's his dual laser gun, which we saw this re-released with some of the Masters of WWE figures and stuff like that. We've seen this again, or this part again, because I believe they used a lot of classics parts and accessories for those figures. But it's a little gummy, it's a little warped, as you can tell. It's super warped, but it could just be battle damage. You can look at it that way. How about that? Anyways, take a closer look at Roboto. I am Roboto. But the gimmick doesn't work. It actually does, but his mouth doesn't like work as the gimmick would in the old toy, the vintage toy. So yeah, but he can't open the mouth and go, I'm Roboto. But anyways, we'll just leave it closed or whatever. It's all anyways, but yeah, I always like that gimmick with the cogs and stuff, and the gears. You got tubers and stuff, a little bit more detailed. It's freaking neat, man. So fun. Reminds me of like Microman or Henshin Cyborg or something like that. Oh, and you got to watch out too, because you can see some stress cracks in his plastics. So yeah, you really want to be careful with this figure, because I think it then, I don't know, I've heard it. I don't think mine was fine, but I think they are prone to breakage sometimes. Oh, and you can see his little heart-shaped box right back there, so that's cool. That is rad. And he's kind of got the variant colorways too, with like the crotch and stuff like that. So that's rad. But not a bad figure, not a bad figure at all. I guess the next thing we'll do is just get him somewhat accessorized with other gear and get him posed up. But oh yeah, we'll check out the articulation as usual. So yeah, his head can turn, he can open his mouth, he can nod, and biceps swivel. There's a hinge, or his shoulder, I mean, and then the bicep, there is a swivel. And then his elbow bends, and you can swivel his axe, or his wrist pieces or whatever, or forearm pieces. And he's got a waist, which triggers the gear mechanism, or the cog mechanism. And then his legs can go out a little bit, but mine are kind of stuck and gummy a little bit, so yeah, there you go. And then there's that inner swivel right there. And then you got a knee bend, and there should be a boot cut. Yeah, right there, there's the boot cut. Underneath, he uses those trap jaw pieces. And yeah, it's a little sticky, because these things have been sitting in boxes for years and years and years. Because what's the date on this one? 2010. Wow, that was a long time ago. That was a long time. That was when me and my old buddy used to be together as a couple, and we're still buddies, but we're not a couple anymore. So that was a long time ago. Long time ago. Anyways, and yeah, let's get him accessorized and posed up a bit. Oh yeah, and I forgot, he's got the hinge on his foot, but not really. A little bit of a pivot. Yeah, there you go. A little bit. These guys got some of the newer figures got a bit of a pivot than some other figures did. We have him posed up, attacking with his claw hand, and I forgot that you can't take this hand off. I was trying to get it off, and I was like, oh, I don't think it wants to come off. I was trying to get it to, and I was like, wait, you don't have to take it off. I thought it was going to come off, but I was like, it's not, because I was looking, and then I was like, oh, there's a peg versus a female port or whatever for it, whatever. But yeah, anyways, we got him posed up. So yeah, this claw, this cool robotic claw hand. That's freaking rad. I don't know, he's a good figure. He's colorful. He pops with the shininess of his silvery gray paint, and also just he also pops too, just with the translucentness of his translucent armor, chest armor. So yeah, there you go. It's freaking cool. Whoop. But yeah, got to get him to hold that pose. But yeah, there you go. Here he is, armed with his laser blaster. Yeah, you're not going to get like a ton of like crazy poses with these guys. Once again, sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. It just depends. But you're just kind of, I would say you're very limited to what you can do with the classics. But they do look cool, and they are well sculpted. That's the whole thing. And for their time as being the classics, they're pretty bitchin'. Just like when you look at like a lot of old Toy Biz figures and stuff like that, for their time, they're pretty bitchin' too. A lot of the Toy Biz Marvel Legends and stuff like that. And yeah, man, for their time, they were bitchin'. They were pretty bitchin'. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's a fun figure. It's Roboto. Pretty simple. Not a lot going on. I mean, there is a lot going on. There's not a lot going on. It's a weird figure. It's not like Zodak or what's his face, Stratos. But at the same time, I don't know. He's got a weird simplicity to him, or to it. It's just a little different. And then again, not at the same time, because look at all just the cool little wires and mechanisms and tubes and stuff, man. It's very robotic, pun intended. But yeah, cool figure, man. Cool figure. And I don't know, because of the new movie, if these like figures like this guy would go up in value. I don't even care about value, because I just like collecting them. You know, I'm not one of those. I used to be like that, like in In the younger days of collecting, I'd be like, oh, gotta keep it in the box, man. It's worth a lot of money. And some can be worth a lot of money in the box. And if you're going to hold on to them and then resell them and stuff like that, you can do that. But then there's also the price that you pay when they just sit in a box for years and years and years and years and years. Like, they just, I don't know, like rubber bands get stuck and gummed up, and paint gets like hot and cold, sticky, and gums up and gets crappy, and just like, yeah, they're like, yes, to an extent they're worth it if you just wanted to keep in the package for a million years, if you wanted to just do that. And then there's sometimes where that, and just being in a package can kind of just ruin the figure, you know. It's kind of, I don't know, it's a vicious cycle, but anyways, or circle or whatever. But anyways, yeah, that's it for Roboto. I love him, man. He's a cool figure, fun figure. And yeah, that's it for our look at Roboto. And probably got some more classics videos to do in the near future. So we're going to keep doing some classic stuff along with Origins, along with Masterverse. And I guess there's talk of like, oh, they're going to cancel Masterverse and they're going to cancel this and they're done with this, but they're not done with this because they got to still do that and they haven't done that yet. And I don't know, there's so much hearsay and things that you hear on the internet. And they're like, well, you got to believe it because so-and-so said that, and then so-and-so heard it from this, and maybe corporate said it or whatever, blah, 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 this and that. And I'm like, I don't really care. I mean, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's not going to, I don't know, because look, if you look at it, there's always some Motu coming about. Since 2000, actually, because there's a Motu, old school Motu. Then you had New Adventures, which I wasn't into New Adventures, but I respect it now, and I have some New Adventures, old school stuff, and new school stuff. And then there was the 2000X stuff. Then there was classics, then no more classics, and then you had the Super 7 reactions, and you had the Super 7 classics, and then that stopped, and then we had Revelation, and then Revolution, and then Origins, you know, we had Origins, you know, around that time too, and all that stuff, so it keeps a popping, so they might do some different stuff, man. And then there was the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, the more animated series, more like, they say it was kid friendly, but I thought it was a pretty cool cartoon. I think it's for everybody. I don't think it was just like, oh, little kid cartoon. Like, it wasn't like watching Dora the Explorer or anything like that. It felt a lot cooler than that for sure. It was funny. It was pretty funny. But that's another thing too, is people get all, especially these days, they're all just like, corny or this or that or silly or funny. And it's like, if you look at Filmation and some of these other, you know, properties and stuff, there's a little bit of humor. It's not like it's like a Deadpool movie, every like Masters of the Universe thing going on and stuff. I'm like, I don't know, man. We got a lot of Motu around. For if you're a fan, there's so much different Motu, and it's cool that it's still here and it's there, because I can remember times when Star Wars was dead and there was no Star Wars. I can remember a time when after Secret Wars that you would just find like little rubber figurines of characters, and then Toy Biz came out, and then you have Toy Biz figures. And then for DC stuff, there are superpowers, and then for a long time, you really didn't have anything. And then Toy Biz had the Batman '89 stuff, and then they did some of the kind of they did more of the rebooting of superpowers, but it wasn't much. And then that kind of died. And then, it's just, there's always stuff that pops up again. It ebbs and flows. It comes back and forth. So don't freak out, because I feel like if this is gonna make you worry and stress out, then man, you need to reevaluate your life. And I've said that before many times, and you might get pissed off, that might sound annoying or preachy, but hey, I'm like, reevaluate your life, because if you're getting stressed out over a figure not coming or hasn't been released or whatever, if they're going to cancel the line, then you've got, I guess maybe you don't have anything to worry about in life, and that's actually pretty cool. So disregard what I just said, because if this is what you got to worry about in life, then I guess your life is pretty perfect. So I'm just saying. Anyway. Enough for me yammering. My neighbor's probably next door. They're like, this guy's always talking to himself in his apartment. But yeah, I am. I always do that. I've been doing it for years in different places. But anyways, once again, thanks for watching, y'all. And yeah, have a good one. All right, later.